Five Nights at Freddy's. It's much more than just an extremely popular indie horror game. In this video, I'll be telling you 10 unknown facts about the very first game. Let me say this in advance, everything I mention is purely theory. This will be the first episode of a 7-part series. Before we begin, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Now then, enjoy the video. 1. Freddy's laugh is actually taken from Foxy's sound file. When the game's files are inspected, you can see that Freddy's laugh is just Foxy's scream sped up and edited. So in reality, both characters share the same sound source. Looks like the developer cut some corners here. Also, the sounds in the kitchen are actually reused sound effects. Most players assume the clattering of dishes is just background noise, but in reality those are parts of Chica's jumpscare audio. Meaning, what you're hearing in the kitchen are echoes of a Chica preparing to attack. Of course, to notice this, you'd have to carefully analyze the sound files. 2. The character we play as is actually Michael Afton. Some believe he's just a random security guard, or simply the person whose name appears on the paycheck, but no! Michael Afton is the son of the man who created these robots, the infamous Purple Guy. He takes on fake names and works at these places to clean up the mess his father left behind. Again, this is just a theory. 3. Golden Freddy doesn't actually have a model. In the game files, there's no separate 3D model for him, he's simply a distorted and drooping 2D Freddy sprite. That's why, when he appears in the office, the scene behaves differently than it does with other animatronics. Basically, Golden Freddy is nothing more than a PNG. 4. The fan sound in the office is a real household fan. Scott recorded the noise of a fan in his own home and added it into the game. The game's iconic hum is literally from a small fan in Scott's room. This way, he kept costs low and finished the job quickly. 5. Foxy's running animation is actually made of only 3 frames. Players often think his dash down the hallway is a full animation, but the game files show only 3 static poses of Foxy. Scott simply played them rapidly one after another to give the illusion of movement. In other words, Scott tried to keep things as simple as possible while developing the game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's actually smart. 6. Many of you probably already know this. After playing the game for a while, there's a small chance Golden Freddy will appear. Shortly after, the "It's me" hallucination flashes on screen. This is believed to represent the spirit of the child inside Golden Freddy trying to connect with the security guard. If you'd like to see this explained in more detail, check out the video I uploaded on my channel about it. 7. The creator of the game, Scott Cawthon, personally thinks Bonnie is the scariest animatronic in the first game, because he actually had a few nightmares about Bonnie himself. I guess developing a horror game can be just as terrifying as playing one. 8. In the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's, you can see Bonnie running down the hallway. But in reality, the only animatronic that runs down the hallway is Foxy. And in fact, there isn't a single scene in the game where Bonnie even moves like that. It seems Scott did this deliberately to keep Foxy's running a surprise. 9. The scream heard during Phone Guy's death call is actually just a reused jumpscare sound. Scott never recorded a unique audio for his death scene, instead, he played Bonnie or Chica's jumpscare sounds in the background. So, the Phone Guy's end is nothing more than recycled audio. Like we said before, Scott reused quite a bit while making the game. 10. We've reached the end, so I'll quickly throw in some simple but fun facts. Chica is often mistaken for a duck, but she's actually a chicken. Bonnie is the only animatronic without eyebrows. Although many think Freddy is the most active animatronic on Night 6, it's actually Chica who's more active. Bonnie is male, not female. And Chica is the only animatronic without ears. And that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.